Hello, everybody. I hope all is well, and I hope that you are having a great day. I am Demetra K of the Demetra K Show, and the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, like to say a big thank you to my moderators as you all do such a great job in holding down the comment section. Today, we're going to be talking about Farrakhan's warning to Black youth about Trump sending National Guards coming true. Okay, so I'm going to get into all that, but and I see Brother James Wiggum on here. I'd like to tell him thank you first off. He sent to me an email earlier today because I covered this kind of sort of on the African Diaspora News Channel. Now, keeping in mind, I recorded it last Wednesday. So a lot of times when y'all see recordings, they're not recorded like that day or even the day before. So I had recorded it last Wednesday. And so he kind of nudged me a little bit on some things that I needed to include, including there were two warnings that were given by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so we're going to talk about that today as some other things have developed from the Trump administration in regards to him federalizing Washington D.C. Now I'm going to show y'all a clip that I put together. You'll see snippets of the press conference, if you will, of Trump and Pam Bondi and Jane Shapiro. She's a new anchor on Fox News, and Kash Patel, and a couple other people, right? Them justifying why they are going to do what they're getting ready to do. Then I'm going to show you a clip of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from a speech during Savior's Day in 2017, where he, issued the warning to Black youth of America. So we're going to get into all of that. Now, I will say right off the top, I'm not going to be able to read all the comments up front. So if y'all have a question for me, just wait till I'm done with everything. Because if I go all the way back to the top, I won't be out of here in an hour. So, but before I get started, who do we have on here? African Native, how you doing? And again, y'all names have kind of switched around. Not my thing. It was YouTube. Mike Nice, how you doing? It's my pleasure. Brother James, one who cares, how you doing? Diane, Brother Thunder, Don, my triple OG moderator, Beverly White, how you doing? King Noble, and Buck Horse, how you doing? Sister Sunlight. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time. So again, it was announced, and Trump kind of talked about this last week because a former Doge staffer, I think he's like 19, 20 or so, he was attacked from what they're saying in Washington. It was like, I don't know, 3 o'clock, give or take in the morning, where he was attacked. Now, admittedly, they didn't mention color or anything like that, but I think we can, figure it out, right? Nevertheless, he was attacked. Sounds like he was trying to save a friend of his or whatever the case is. So he was beaten pretty bad from what they're saying. They put up a picture of him and he was bloody pretty good and all of that. So Trump said, oh, okay, bet I am going to federalize Washington, D.C. Basically means he is taking over, right? So it says Trump has declared a public safety emergency and stated he is placing D.C. Metropolitan Police under federal control, designating the administrator of the Drug Enforcement Administration as interim commissioner. Invoking Section 740 of the Home Rule Act, the president is using Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act, passed in 1973, which grants the president power to intervene in emergencies to justify the takeover, right? Now, from what I understand, it's going to be 30 days and then longer if it needs to be. Now, also, there's concerns about crime and homelessness. Now, he also said, and you homeless people, y'all need to leave immediately. Where they supposed to go, I don't know, right? But he told them, y'all need to get up out of here. Now, let's see what else it says now. Despite city officials and police data indicating that crime rates have fallen. So it is said that last year, crime rates have fallen about 37%. So what he and his administration is saying that, crime is on the rise in DC is not correct, right? But he's saying that it's out of control, and it may be, right? Because crime is falling does not mean that there's not still an issue. But anyway, so it is part of his tough on crime agenda. Now, many have disputed, as I said, the claims in Washington. Now, Mayor Muriel Bowser, she again is the mayor, and it's power is being taken from her. He's basically saying she's not doing a good job. Now, of course, y'all know she's a black mayor, and she went and visited Trump at the White House, and they kind of seemed like they were getting along, but Trump was like, yeah, right, I'm taking power from you. You're kind of useless right now. All right. So again, he is basically stated, Trump, that Washington D.C. is the most dangerous city. Well, that's not actually true. You have Memphis, Tennessee, St. Louis, Missouri, Detroit, Michigan, Baltimore, Maryland, just to name a few, right? Now, I don't know where exactly Washington falls, but it's definitely not the most dangerous. Then it's somewhere you could throw in Chicago, right? Now, it is said that key factors to some of this crime in inner cities, because that's what they're talking about, right? And again, I'm going to show y'all a video, are poverty, economic inequality, social disorganization, and weakened community bonds, lack of quality education and opportunities, and basically systemic and institutional racism. Now, in regards to parenting, because you got to throw parents in there, right? They need to build stronger family bonds, be better role models, and provide a nurturing environment and discipline, right? Now, more importantly, and let's keep it a buck because that's what we're talking about here, need to teach our children knowledge of self, love of self, and a love of our people. So here we go.
Announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved. Well, see, they fight back until you knock the hell out of them, because it's the only language they understand. But they fought back against law enforcement last night, and they're not going to be fighting back long, because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, they love to spit in the face of the police. As the police are standing up there in uniform, they're standing and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face, and then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit, and they can hit real hard.
Brian, I've got two questions for you. First, about D.C. This is personal for me as well. Last year, I was robbed on the streets by one of these teenage thugs. Had a gun, got away with it. Let's talk about the effort that between law enforcement, prosecutors, and judges, because it's a recycling belt. Like, these kids go, they don't fear the police. They know it. If you talk about how we've got to get these judges and put these kids behind bars, right. Adult crimes deserve adult penalties. And my second question, I'll after you answer that, please.
Here's the problem. Assuming that they're 17 years, older than 17 years old, I can get the case. If they're under 18 years of age, I can only get the case if it's murder, rob one, rape, even if they shoot a gun but don't kill you, I can't get it. So the law has to be changed. As the president said, counsel's bail. That has to be changed. All right, then, even assuming I get the case, I get jurisdiction, I get a conviction, the D.C. Council has given the judges the ability to give probation on shootings. And so then it's up to them. All of these things, the Youth Rehabilitation Incarceration Reduction Act, and now they want to seal records. So if we work hard and we get a conviction, they want to wipe it out. So that needs all to be changed.
Yeah, and just back to that topic. Let's be clear, though. We're going to charge them, and we're going to track every single thing they do throughout every step of the court process and report back to you and let all of you know what's happening to them. Because the people who are prosecuting them, the judges who are trying them, they also need to be held accountable.
Back to President Trump coming to Chicago. See, you told Rahm Emanuel, clean it up, or I will. And you threatened my young brothers. Let me tell you something. My brothers are in bad shape. And I have warned all of you. I told you that the army was coming. I told you to get your act together and clean up your act, because they're coming with a mind to slaughter us. Have I said it? not just for a year, but for 3 decades. I have been warning you about the government of America planning a war, not only with a Muslim overseas, but with black people and the Nation of Islam in America. Have I not done that?
All right, so y'all saw what happened today, with the Trump administration, and you heard the warning. Now, of course, that was from 2017. Have no fear for the future. The future is ours, right? Savior's Day that happens every year via the Nation of Islam, and usually there is a message that goes out, and usually it is that of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, although he didn't do it this last time, but usually it does, right? But as he said, for the last 30 years, now that was in 2017, he has been warning. Now, of course, a copious amount of times, he has spoken about, the crime and the stuff that we do to ourselves, right? Because we have to have that conversation, and basically saying we can't continue to talk about what the white man does to us and not talk about what we do to each other. Now, of course, we know that especially in communities where we live, there is a lot of crime, right? It just is a lot of violent crime. And listen, I'm not saying any of this to absolve the Trump administration of what they are about to do, right? Now, of course, they never mentioned color, but you could pick up on who they were speaking of. Now, he even mentioned, now this thing was about an hour and 25 minutes long. I listened to the whole thing, believe it or not. It was a lot of rambling and things like that. But he also talked about sending the homegrown criminals, to places like El Salvador, and just sending them out of here, right? But again, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan knew that was going to take place. And again, he has told us over and over and over again, get yourselves in check as Black people, right? And here we are. So we're going to have this conversation. I want to see what you guys think about it. I'm going to do my best to read as many comments as I can. Again, I'm at the bottom, so hello to everybody that's come on here. If I go all the way back to the top, I'll never get to the bottom. So I'm going to start at the bottom with Tracy. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Your average logical thinker. Yeah, your name changed as well. How you doing, Jamarcus? What's going on with you? Just going down to the bottom. And Brother James just says, we know who they are speaking of. The minister Farrakhan said that over 8 years ago. Exactly. We know. But I'm saying as far as Trump and them, they didn't say Black youth or anything like that. But come on, we know who they talk about because they talked about carjackings, and they somebody also mentioned some about some girls did a carjacking. I remember that story, and it was some Black girls and things like that. So we know exactly who they're talking about. And again, they're talking about locking these kids up for life. Y'all heard them say, right? As young as 14, they're not getting away with it. That's basically what they said. They're not getting away with it. And they also talked about Baby and Pam Bondi, because they gave her control of this, right? She's basically like, we're going to hold the judges and everybody accountable who keeps letting them out, right? And they're not going to be able to have their records expunged or any of that. And we're going to keep track, is what they're saying, right? So this is the crackdown that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan warned us about. But now this is where we have to have a conversation about, getting our children out the street. So I'm going to continue on with the comments. Where did I leave off? All right, so let's see. Speed, how you doing? And Yakuba, how you doing? It says last time they were talking like this, they started frisking everybody and locking innocent so-called Black people up. Right. So unfortunately, people who have nothing to do with the debauchery that's going on are going to have to pay for it. Right. But as a community, it's up to us all, rather, to get our community in check. It just is, right? But I agree with you, and it's sad. Greater Achievements, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Kumar, how you doing? Again, the names are kind of squashed together. How you doing? Let's see. Yes, and Brother James, you did send me the speech about the one he made in 2007 about the gangs and things. Yes, and it was kind of too late for me to put that on here, but I did see it. Yeah, Average Logical Thinker is on here. More Perspective is the name that I see. David, how you doing? Said this is going to backfire on them. Oh, yes. Well, that was the other part of it, right? God does not sleep. America still needs to atone for the original sin of slavery and all the things that it has done to the black man and woman in America. So that doesn't say that they don't get what they got coming to them, right? Of course, they've been here, we've been here, watched the weather and a whole host of other things. So that doesn't absolve them, but we still got to talk about us, right? ETG, how you doing? Says the National Guard has been in, out, I think in inner cities many times. Yes, well, they finna be out there for real this time, right? Okay. Just let me skip down. Let's see. Buckhorse, you in DC. Says in DC, we telling youngsters stay out the streets now. Law says change overnight in DC, y'all. And the other thing for to understand is they don't want more than 9 youth to be together at the same time, right? If they see that, it's big trouble. Now, what does that remind us of? I want to see if somebody could put that in the comments. No conjugating too many of you. If you do, you're going to be in trouble. What does that remind us of? I'm going to see what y'all say. The old God, how you doing? Says, but by design, if we who does have any criminal records can't find work, they are going to criminalize all of us. Yes, but we've been told what? By the nation. Do for self. We've been told that. Do for self. And again, I'm going to bring up Marcus Garvey. I know a lot of y'all are not in love with him no more, but he said, up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will, right? We've been told that too. And somehow we're at the point to where we have to now listen. But I hear what you're saying, though. I do. Brother Thunder, how you doing? Said DK. I'll say the same thing I've always said. Family, get ready, be prepared, stock up. But how much are we going to be able to prepare? You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying. I totally hear what you're saying. Aris, how you doing? Says clean up crimes, more proof that Democrats are the true threat to America. Well, they're all the true threat to America. And they did a lot of blaming of the Democrats, Biden, Obama, all of them, right? They blamed them all, they being the Trump administration, but they're all complicit. Every last one of them. They all have something on their hands in regards to what's going on now, especially in regards to Black people, Black Americans, right? It's just a fact. So, yeah. But that is mostly in democratically ran cities. So you're absolutely right. Brother Salam, how you doing? We ain't going to go there. You already know how it is. Laura, how you doing? Says, is Israel served tea? He says, is he a homeborn slave? Why is he? I don't know what that means. Your comment is kind of messed up. Channel H Dunbar, how you doing? Said he was right. Heaven, how you doing? Says protect them at all costs. Okay, let me skip down. Satoya says get your children off the damn streets. Absolutely, really. You know, PGH Big Doll, how you doing? He says, yep. No. You said salute. And then JW says, yep, the children are soft targets, the people who can't fight back. Yeah, but get your soft targets out the streets, right? Again, I'm not putting the blame completely on us. We know there's some things that led up to this, but this is where we are now, right? So get your kids out the streets. There's a lot of times where people, the children are just running around and there's a curfew. It's like, why are your children out after, 9 o'clock at night? Again, when I was a kid, we had to be in the house by the street lights, unless we were out somewhere like the weekend, but we had to be somewhere, right? We wasn't just running around the streets and doing whatever. Your mama and daddy needed to know where you were, right? You weren't just, hey, I'll be back when I get back. You are back at a certain time, and if you're not, there's going to be consequences. So those are the things that we need to start talking about, because the minute they start, and it sounds like they already started. They start, knocking some heads and, as Trump said, start hitting and all that other, knocking the hell out of them. Then you're going to see a lot of people start to complain, but it's like, get your children out the street. How many times do you need to be warned? Honestly, right? But anyway, Jersey Rick, how you doing? Hope that you are doing well. And thank you, Average Logical Thinker. See, there she is. See, your guys' names have changed, right? It says, let's talk about it. It's been time. Yes, we have to have this conversation. Now, of course, my child is not a child anymore, but I have nieces and nephews and, all that other stuff. But it takes a village, right? We got to have that village mentality. And we also got to allow the village to get in there and say, hey, go home. Get out the streets. Stop doing that, young man. Stop doing that, young lady, right? Without the mama or the daddy trying to show up to the person who was admonishing that child. What you talking to my child? We got to stop all that. I tell y'all, my mom was born in 1949, and she told me a story that she had got smart with a woman a couple of blocks away from her home, and the lady slapped her, And she said by the time she got home, she got slapped again for getting fresh. That was the term they used back then, getting fresh with Mrs. So-and-so, right? Can you imagine somebody doing that today? Now, I'm not necessarily saying you should be putting your hands on people, but there still should be a point where you can admonish children without everybody getting all up in an uproar. Did you tell them to do the right thing? Yes. Was they acting up? Yes. Then that's all I need to know. You know? Yeah. Mars, how you doing? Says maybe a year in jail, but not for life, for Carter. But you also got to remember the prison, school to prison pipeline, those prisons. I know they say they're not privatized anymore, but yes, they are. They got a middleman, right? And if the prison is privatized, they need to give the investors what? A return on their investment. In order to give them a return on their investment, they have to guarantee up to 90% occupancy in those prisons. So how do you guarantee that? Oh, you got some 14-year-olds who's ripping and running the streets and they ain't doing what they supposed to be doing. And we can, make these laws because he's going to get Congress involved. He owns Congress right now, right? It's all Republicans and he got a lot of yes people. So we get them when they're 14 and we don't let them out. And guess what? That investor ain't got to worry about the occupancy rate dropping and he or she going to get their money. See, that's how that works. Dr. J.H. Irons, how you doing? Says, and to my brothers, if you are scared, get out the way and let real men handle this. Yeah, and be productive. Find something to do, right? The streets ain't it. Ain't nothing in the streets. Patrice, how you doing? It says, I presume the federal takeover is in conjunction with the strengthening and unleashing of PO executive president. Is that what it is? Executive order he signed in April 2025. I'm sure it is, right? But none of this is new. Again, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about this in 2017 when Trump was president the first term. So none of this is new. We got our ears closed and the warning was loud and clear, right? So whether he wrote that in 2000 earlier this year, the warning was still the same. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is not a man that he should lie. I'm just going to say it like that. Anyway, Valentavius, how you doing? Says the mammies running these crime-infested areas appear but hurt. When you say mammies, are you talking about the mamas? Well, yeah, mamas need to, figure it out. Because as Dr. Ava Muhammad said, in her book, Weapons of Self-Destruction, she says, yes, for whatever reason, that man is not there in the home, the mama is. And you still have to be responsible for turning out conducive people into society, right? So, yeah, but we need to bring the man back in the fold as well. Just saying. Okay, let me skip down so I can read everybody's comment. At least once. Goddess, how you doing? Says Trump trying to lock them up to work them farm fields since immigrants getting deported. Oh, yeah, all that's going to go on. You can believe that. You can believe that. Smiley, how you doing? Says Trump should be impeached already. Well, he's been impeached. Think he's been impeached 2 times or something like that, even more. So, yeah, he's been impeached. But he's in the White House. Cornelius, how you doing? Says, hi, Dimitri. I hope you slept well last night and also having a great day today. I did sleep well, and I'm having a great day. I cannot complain, but thank you for asking. All right. And Brother James says, I wish that everyone saw the speech yesterday from Ishmael Muhammad, and it was called Unraveling a Great Nation. Yes, I have to catch up. I am definitely going to go back and watch the repeat, NOI.org. Webcast archives or something like that. I think that's what it's called. Okay, so yes, Yuckelbug. Black codes. That's what that is. No, too many Negroes can't conjugate together, right? That's the black codes. They bringing them back. That's what they said. Too many youth are together. You know what I mean? So yeah, but how many people are even paying attention to that? How many of those people, especially down in Washington, D.C., watch the press conference? Yes, Sister Tracy. Slavery, yep. Y'all saying the black codes, yep. Dee Dee, how you doing? Phantom, how you doing? Says, I've been spending the day trolling blue MAGA channels, them folks crashing out in real time. And I love it. Yeah, they can crash out all they want to, but at the end of the day, those children, and again, they didn't mention race, but we know who they talking about, right? They belong to us. So Democrats can, deny and try to use this to freak black people out and all this other stuff. But the fact of the matter is, we have to do something about that. Okay, this ain't even really about politics, but of course, everybody's going to make this political. But at the end of the day, those children belong to us. Period. So yeah, I can already imagine. I can already hear it, and then who's saying all that? I already can hear it in my head. Land, how you doing? Says they don't want the youth to conjugate in large numbers like slavery. There you go. I see y'all all saying it. Mike Knight says gang versus group. Exactly. But you know, to them folks, it's all the same. You heard the reporter said he was attacked. Them thugs, right? Them thugs attacked me. And you know, he was pretty messed up about it, right? So they see black people together, they're thugs. I'm not saying that, but that's how they think. Truth Paste, how you doing? He says, slavery, huh? Yeah. Ernest, how you doing? Lucky me, what's going on with you? Says crime in DC is down 28%. I heard it was higher. Actually more, down more. Says, and he pardoned them people that attacked the Capitol, right? Nobody will talk about that, right? That was some real true crimes going on right there, live and in living color. But they all got pardons. And then Ashley Babbitt, the one that went through the window and got pew-pewed, he gave her family $5 million for their troubles. So, yeah. And Avological Thinker says, oh, yeah, in the military, they try to separate blacks on different shifts so we don't conjugate too much. Yeah, they still do not want us together to be talking about, you know, getting together and doing something productive, right? And Brother James says, Sister K, do for self. And yes, that is correct. I want the reparation that Elijah Muhammad said. We are old. Read number 4, what the Muslim wants. In fact, I have it right here. No. Says, we want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to provide such land, and the area must be fertile and minerally rich. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. So yes, indeed. There you go. Always in the Final Call newspaper. All right, so let's see. Dave, he says DC is so liberal that the rainbow pedestrian crossing was taken down. Yeah, I think, and then the Black Lives Matter street was also taken down almost right away. Thank you, 23 Archer. How you doing, by the way? Shawnee, what's going on? Says Black Code laws, no congregation. There you go. Power Force, how you doing? Says Rip. Black truckers gone missing. Yes, I've heard about that too. I need to get into all of that that's going on, but I have heard about black truck drivers coming up missing. It's a crazy world we living in, right? Skipping down, I see y'all comments. Arneba, how you doing? Hope that you are doing well. Sunshine time says the children need to go home and do their chores. Yeah, no children need to be out in the street at night. Go home. Sun is setting. Street lights are coming on. Go home. And why are you? And I say this all the time. Your children should not be unsupervised. Your children just out. You don't know what they're doing. So what? You could tag their phone and see where they're at, but you don't know what they're doing. You have no idea what your children are just out there unsupervised. See, for me, I'll be concerned somebody do something to them. You know, not necessarily that they might be doing something, but somebody do something to them, and you have no earthly idea what your children are up to or the danger they may be in, right? Michi, I hope I said that right. Black, how you doing? Said the parents are not parenting. Yep, and we got to get back to that. We just have to. Gone are the days you just let your children just go out. Mahalia, how you doing? Says elder speak and look out for the children like we used to. We got to, but I understand the intrepidation. People are like, nah, I ain't gonna say nothing because I don't want somebody to come say something to me or I get rolled up. You know, or whatever the case is for saying something to some kid who needs some correction. So I get it, but yeah, we got to get past that. Molly Cakes, how you doing? Says Trump and his administration is just itching to bring major harm to black communities in America. It's sad black people don't know how to police themselves. And that's a perfect word. We got to police ourselves, right? But you're right. Manuel, how you doing? Says spare the rod, spoil the child. 8 got mine growing up. Yeah, that's biblical right there. You got to, you know, maybe not so much physically, I guess, but you need to put a little heat on them. I said what I said, right? But nowadays, a lot of parents are afraid of their children. You know, you can't say nothing to them. I almost said a bad word because I don't know who. I didn't parent like that. Let's see. Skipping down to I have not seen yet. Patrice says, meanwhile, the Democrats did not construct no policies or laws for George Floyd city-state hate crime bill, nullified qualified immunity Says PO reform and the PO Oversight Commission. No, they didn't. They was working on it though, right? Kamala, when she went to Tyree Nichols' funeral in Memphis, Tennessee, she stood up there and gave a rebel-rousing speech. I'm going to go back to Washington and I'm going to tell Joe Biden. Well, maybe he's deaf because clearly he didn't do anything. She said she was going to tell him to sign the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act into law. And I don't even think it made it out the House. Brother Reggie, how you doing? Thunder, he says, DK, he will do the same in California where a group gang of white teens jump. He says, will he? Come on now. He says, will he do the same thing? He will not. Of course, they ain't say nothing about that. In Simi Valley, a bunch of white thugs, right, jumped on the black teen. And I ain't heard a whole lot of people mad about that at all. But the people in Simi Valley, they ain't letting up. It was like, nah, y'all need to do something. This slap on the wrist y'all trying to do, and they was throwing all types of N-words around and stuff. Nah, y'all need to do something about it, right? So I'm definitely keeping my eye on that situation there. I'm going to skip down. Fluffy Bunny, how you doing? Says, I don't like Trump, but these single mamas raise kids out here terrorizing each other and others. Yeah. And some people say, well, they didn't raise them to do it. Well, not raising them is also raising them. You know what I mean? You're just not raising them good. And, I'm not about to get up here and be offended. Talking about, well, it ain't just the women. Because, again, I'm going to go back to Dr. Ava Muhammad. She said that you were home, and we know that single moms in Black communities, about 70% or so, that you are the ones in the household with the children. You still have a duty to make sure they are raised correctly, right? Absolutely. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that his work was 75% with the woman, because obviously her nation can rise no higher than this woman, right? And she's the pillar, the backbone of the community. So he needed to make sure she had her head on tight. Nowadays, I venture to say a lot of sisters, and I'm just going to say this, I hope I don't get in trouble. We ain't got our head on tight. And I say collectively, we just don't. Of course, I'm not speaking about all of us, but it's enough of us to where we're having this conversation. Yahweh, how you doing? It says Psalms 83, the nations have consulted together to destroy Israel, the so-called Black, Latino, and Native Indian. They want and need us gone to get the birthright back. Well, it ain't up to them, right? God has a final say-so, and it's been said. It's just a matter of time, and their time is up. They know this, right? But I hear what you're saying. Absolutely. So I see y'all comments, but again, I'm sorry I got to skip down because I'm terribly behind. Y'all must forgive me. Sherry Stone, how you doing? Says, we best be repenting and turning back to Elohim. That is our only protection. Yes, and we have turned away from God. We need to bring God back into the fold. So you're 100% right. Okay, now this one says user ZY4 again. And, the names are messed up. I don't know why they're like that, but he says, parents, get your kids out the streets. Absolutely. Victor, how you doing? Says, I think some of these young brothers fight back. Okay. Hey, Donovan, how you doing? So there's no federal takeover of DC. It's federal property controlled by Congress. Google this stuff. Well, I said that. It has to be an act of Congress, but come on now. They're going to do what Trump say do. Okay. So there you have it. And he can do that. He can do that. So let's see. Skipping down. Who haven't I seen? Montrose, how you doing? It says, I told you that he was coming after you too. Well, it's coming after everybody, okay? He is. I mean, but we still got a responsibility. But see, I'm not scared. What am I scared for? All the stuff the Black man and woman's been through in America, and we scared now? What we should be scared of is that we've been turning a deaf ear to the warnings that has been going out forever, right? That's the scary part, because it's like, oops, here we are. But, Trump don't scare me. As Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said, he said, we ain't scared. What you scared of? If you scared, then as I said, especially if you think y'all going on the plantation, don't wait. Get your nearest knapsack, sturdy enough to hold 300 pounds of cotton every day, and go report to the nearest plot of plantation and say, here I is. But my heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. And I hope yours don't either. Angela, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Going to the bottom. Who haven't I seen? T-Nature, how you doing? So this is a sign of things to come. We all need to reevaluate and stay out those streets. Come on now. What are you in the streets for, right? Why do we need to be in the streets? What's in the streets? Nothing. But some things we ain't supposed to be into, right? Stay out the streets. We've been told that too. Like, go and get what you need to do, whether you got to go to work, go to the store, the gym, whatever it is you're doing, and bring yourself back. What you hanging out in the street for? So, yeah. Going down, JC Donaldson, how you doing? Says mob action. Okay. James Fisher, how you doing? Says good evening, Sister Demetra. Let's get our kids into activities such as track, football, even basketball season around the corner. Also get them in after school activities as well. Yes, I'm telling you right now, I do not know what idle time is. Never have and never will. Myself, my siblings, and our children. We never knew what idle time was. Never. I've been active doing stuff since I can remember. I tell you all the time, I know how to do a lot of things, and that's square biz, right? I'm a trained dancer. I'm a trained singer. At the age of 5, I was even leading a parade, twirling a baton, right? I know how to do some gymnastics. Now, I ain't no Dominique Dawes or nothing like that, but I can do a cartwheel and things like so. I'm saying all that to say is we were always doing something. There was no spare time. I played basketball, you name it, I've done it. So, yeah, we need to get our kids in activities. Absolutely. And there's a lot of stuff you can find them to do for free. So, yeah. Brenda, how you doing? Says Trump testing the waters out. I think he passed testing the waters. Southern Girl, how you doing? Says I live in DC. Have y'all seen the youth on video acting out? I have seen some of those videos. So, yeah. You know, and again, I'm not saying nothing needs to be done, but the fact that he's coming down with, the National Guards and all that, yeah, that ain't good. And he said that Washington is just the beginning. He said California and everybody else, y'all better get it together so we don't have to come there. But he did say that's not off the table. So, yeah, I have seen the videos. Critical Thinker, how you doing? He says, this needs to be done a long time ago. These people need to be off the streets. Just too much crime. Absolutely. Here we are. Fair Use, how you doing? Says the propaganda machine needs to stop spinning the truth. Okay. Slimmer, how you doing? He says sometimes you have to lay low for a couple of days, stay out of the way, and live to fight another day. Yeah. It's like, why are you going to put a target on your own forehead? Because that's what's going on essentially. And they're out there looking for these, wayward youth, right? I'm not saying they're not out there, but if you out there and you not wayward, they don't care about that. You black, you out here. Okay. Now Trump is like, it's an embarrassment. We need Washington D.C. is basically like the pillar of the United States is kind of what he was saying, right? And we have all these dignitaries and people coming over. He said somebody, can't remember who it was, but basically saying, United States is trash or something like that. And, Trump was doing a lot of talking, but he was saying a lot of things that I was like, okay. Sunlight, it says the nation will start selling staple goods nationwide this month, I think. So, yes, I actually took a copy of that. So it's a whole list of things the Nation of Islam is going to be selling, right? Goods. I think I'll post that when I'm done here. But yes, Diane says, my apologies to anyone that may have greeted me earlier, but my neighbors came to my door. No worries. I did see you in here earlier. Twyla, how you doing? Says, I'm an adult. I don't like being out at night unless I'm on my balcony. Yeah, like be somewhere, at home. Now that's roaming around. And I'm with you. Alex, how you doing? Says Elijah Muhammad warned us either to separate or face the consequences. Come on now. Separation or... Yep. And here we are. Big Rich, how you doing? Says, I really think the police is doing something to those truckers because if the police get behind them and hit the lights, those truckers will pull over. Who else will those truckers do that for? You're right. I totally agree with you, especially in some of those places. I mean, all of the United States is the Klan country, right? But some of them are really like Klan country. So I totally agree with you. Come on, Brother Reggie. Make A whoopings great again. I think you came up with something there. That's the true MAGA. Make A whoopings great again. You better stop it, but you own something. All right. Sassy Walker, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says, well, we need to change if it means going back to go forward. It says, so be it. We cannot stay like this. Our kids are lazy, angry, high 2.0. Something has to give. Yeah, and that starts with us. That starts with us. We got to give. And you know what we got to give? Excuse my French, but we got to give a damn. That's what we got to give, right? We got to put these phones down. My daughter and I were out today, and it's the first day of school, right? I think out here it's the first day of school in some areas. And on every bus stop. Parents were on their phones. Almost every parent out there were on their phones. And I said, look at that. They're about to see their babies off to school and they can't put their phone down until their babies get on the bus and go to school. They can't do it. So we got to put our phones down and take the phones from the children. They don't need to have them all day. And let's keep it a buck. We're all addicted to these phones. And children especially, take your children's phone away. Okay. You get to have it for 30, 45 minutes or whatever a day. And then you put it back on the charger on the table. Go do your homework. Go do what you need to do before you go to bed. And then you can try again tomorrow, right? But these children are on their phones all day and the parents as well. So that's part of the reason why we don't parent anymore. We're not present. We're not. These have become the new parents. These have become the new babysitters. So yeah. Let's see. Skipping down. T Pika, how you doing? Oops. Let me see. Oh, there you go. It says stop the marijuana weed. Yes, and that's something else too. A reporter asked them, they was like, well, y'all trying to make marijuana a different schedule, I guess make it more acceptable. So he's saying, they said to Trump, well, you're talking about the drugs and stuff being an issue, but then you're making marijuana more, I guess, acceptable. So he says, how does that work? And he's like, well, yeah, we're still kind of thinking it over and talking it over. So there's a lot of contradictions going on there. So yes, Carrie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. David, what's up with you? You says Psalms chapter 114, verse 10. And I ain't got my Bible, so forgive me for that one. The one who cares says children are that way because of who is in charge of them. Yep. And right now ain't a whole lot of people, not all, but the ones that are having issues, nobody's really in charge of them. Parents are afraid of them and they just don't care, right? H. McDaniels, how you doing? Skipping down. I want to make sure I get everybody. Tracy Clark, how you doing? Says parents, get your parents. I think you meant parents, get your kids out the streets. I like that thought. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, nobody wants that. Is your child, so-and-so? Yes. Well, we regret to inform you that they are either no longer with us or they are locked up behind a serious allegation, right? You don't want that, do you? Most parents don't want that. It's time consuming. It's heart wrenching. It's a lot going on when you could have just said, bring your black in the house, and mean it. One who cares says, absolutely, Demetra, some of these sisters are off the chain. It's awful. Yeah, we just need to have that conversation. It's not saying all sisters, but we have to have that conversation. Michelle, how you doing? Says, I was just telling the brothers and sisters that earlier today, he told us about this decades ago. Absolutely. Earth, Ocean, Moon, how you doing? Says, I think if men were involved with their kids, we'd have less issues with the kids. It says single moms have no choice but to work and they can't be everywhere. Many work long hours too. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. We definitely need to bring the men involved, but a lot of mamas work and they still kept their children intact, right? A lot of mamas went to work and didn't have a man around and the children knew you better not try mama because mama ain't the one, right? Mama said, take that meat out and thaw it out when you get home from school. You knew you better do that. It was going to be some consequences, right? Your mama said, do not have nobody here while I'm gone. And don't have nobody in this house. You knew better, right? So just because the mama's working, don't mean that she has to have eyes on you all the time. Of course, she should as much as she can. But mama needs to be able to give a direction and you take it. And if you don't, well, then you're going to have to feel the fury, the fire or something. But see, we don't have that no more. I'm 54 years old, so I grew up with parents that said what they said. Period. I grew up with parents like that. I don't know these parents nowadays, and I said this, I could be wrong, and maybe I am, but I said this is the worst generation of parents ever. A lot of times you can't tell the parents from the children because they act and sound the same. But I've said too much. Anyway, going down to the bottom, who haven't I seen? Soul Glow, how you doing? Says something big about to go down in Ukraine, trying to create all kinds of distraction. I have a feeling Putin about to humiliate him. He needs to keep the strong image. Yeah, and a lot of people are saying this is a distraction, but do we really want to find out if he's bluffing? Especially when we've been told by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that he's not. Do we really want to find that out? And yes, people keep saying this is a distraction. I've seen a lot of people say this is a distraction from the Epstein files, open the files. So yes, it probably is, but now the attention is on us. Because before it really wasn't. Because a lot of times they say, well, what has Trump done to us so far? Hello, here we are. You know. So yes, Brother Salam, come on now, behave yourself. I hate to keep having this conversation with you, Chunky Keys. How you doing? Says if you're scared, go to the church. Yeah, I mean, and then they scared up in the church nowadays. They up in there putting the fear in people. How you going to church and they putting fear in you? I read a book a long time ago, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and he says fear is taught in a few places. It's taught in church. So he says basically they're telling you to have faith, but they're pumping fear into you. So how can you do both at the same time? So some of them people in the church, they weak in the knees too. But I hear what you're saying. Hey, Easy E, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Gloria, what's going on with you? Says, yes, I'm not scared. They're not my parents. My God, absolutely. Just going down. I do see your comments though. African Native says, Demetra K, is it possible to modify some settings from your end to display the chatter profile names instead of their addresses? I could try. It's not on my end though, because I'm actually on StreamYard. So I don't know if it's something that's going on my end. Y'all saying it's not on anybody else's thing like that. When I get off of here, I'm gonna see if it's something I can do, but I don't think it's anything I did. I hope I didn't. But yeah, because I can see the names on Facebook and they haven't changed. So yeah. Tracy says schools have removed a lot of things and after school activities barely there. That is true, right? But we could create some things, I would think, right? But I hear you. H. McDaniel says, I'm so tired of everybody always talking about the single woman and the baby daddies don't even get a slap on the wrist for making these babies and not being there. Just keep making more babies. Absolutely. I hear what you're saying, and he should be there, but also and how to give birth to a God, which is an excellent lecture by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, how to give birth to a God. And also, I think the last Savior's Day speech that he didn't do this year, but he basically said to women, you know, you got to vet these dudes. You got to set some expectations. Don't let him, you know, all up in you and stuff, because what he gonna do, especially with no commitment, right? So let's get a commitment, because we're gonna do what he needs to do, put a baby in you. He's gonna go down the street to Susie and do the same thing. So some of that is on us, right? We've been told to settle down to a good choice. So I mean, I hear what you're saying about the men, but you know, we have a lot of say so in that. I'm sorry, what are your intentions with me? Are we getting married? Well, nah, I ain't taking it that far. Well, guess what? You ain't taking far. You know what I mean? Shouldn't even be having that conversation unless we're talking about, you know, being married or whatever. But that's where the courting process comes in. But I'm not absolving the men. I'm just kind of giving it a little bit more context. Stylish gentlemen, how you doing? Says we need to go to our school board meetings and advocate. It says my STEAM conflict resolution classes. Yeah, we need to do all that too, but we also need to be thinking about having and building our own schools, right? Because we know with the school system here in America, their plan, especially for Black children, is school to prison pipeline. That's their job. That's the only thing they really see about our children. So we should be educating our own as well. And Malcolm X told us that, right? They ain't going. The enemy is not going to teach you right. Yes, indeed. Angela Johnson, how you doing? Says, I make sure my grown children are inside at a reasonable time. I know they're grown, but I still preach to be inside at a decent time. How about they don't live with me? I'll never stop being their mom. Yeah, you instill those things with them. What does the Bible say? Oh gosh, it just slipped my mind. But basically, when they're young, I'm gonna mess it up, but instill something in them when they're young, and that way when they're old, that stuff, you know, will remain with them, right? It'll come to me in just a second, but yeah. So you teach them from the cradle, and they'll remember those things. You can't start teaching them when they get out there acting bad, and they're like, okay, let me try. It's a little bit harder then. Code 6308, and again, y'all names are completely gone. How you doing? So the family dynamic in the Black community is broken. These kids have no discipline and structure. It's time. People are being held accountable. I'm glad the streets are getting cleaned up. Yes, because the other thing about that is too, there's you know, there's a lot of Black people being harmed in these cities where, you know, unfortunately the youth are wayward, right? So there's a lot of Black people like, yeah, about time. So I'm gonna skip down. And Harv, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Who else haven't I seen on here? Lillian, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Kevin, he says, yes, stay out of the streets and don't give them a reason to hassle you. Yeah, stay out the way. Stay out the way. Absolutely. Tyson, how you doing? Says parents need to start parenting and be consistent with their children or their kids. Yes. I try not to say kids because I can hear my dad now saying, stop that. Kids are billy goats, right? And Gloria says, I'm a grandmother and I will share this with them. I love and appreciate you for that. Thank you so much, Lene. I hope I said that right, or Lenny. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. It's a hell of a donation. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Diesel Purge, how you doing? Says 2/3 will not make it. So we've been told, right? And skipping down just a little bit more, make sure I say hello to everybody. Caitlin, how you doing? Says, irrespective of the subject, I just read where they are going to require an ID to use these current apps, YouTube, TikTok, Apple Music, Spotify, etc. Yeah, I kind of figured they would come to that point. They want to see who's who, right? Because a lot of people have fake profiles and things, which is why it's also important to make sure you don't say certain things because they're always watching. Big Brother is always there. That you can believe. Noki, how you doing? Says, it's hard to get arrested for our youth. Many will get through and become humble. Hopefully, right? And I think so too. Some kids are just like, okay, that was fun. Let me get, straighten up, right? Lord Jammer, how you doing? Says, so what is, okay. Hold on a second. We don't put up with disrespecting the minister, so I just blocked him. Yes, indeed. November, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Tahada, how you doing? Says, we used to wear ski masks when he says, we used to wear ski masks. He says, when we were in shape, so we can outrun the cops. Oh, okay. So basically saying that's what y'all used to do to outrun the cops. Okay. Don't do that no more. Now ain't the time to run around here with no ski mask. And I know, what do they call them? Like, Deanna, what they call those ski masks? Something that, the young ones be wearing. What is it? The shiesties? Is that what they're called? I'm just skipping down. Mr. Rashad, how you doing? It says one lives if they are guided by another. One dies if they are not guided by another. Come on now. Kelly, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Primo, what's going on? It says 50 times. I know it was something I said, and forgive me. That's why I'm trying to catch up. Power Force says, I've been arrested 20 times, never jailed. Oh, my God. Why? Arneva says, it will be difficult to get the children out of the streets without changing our culture. Yep, we have a total do-over, right? We got to do a whole do-over because it's going to get uglier, right? Jersey Rick says, I go back to the days where your mother told you to go over there and get that switch for this beating. Whoo! You ain't got to tell me. I remember the days. I didn't get whooped too many times because you ain't just going to be whooping on me, right? I got it. Albie Chill, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Jeff, did I say hello to you? If not, hello. He says, spare the rod, spoil the child. El Buddha, what's going on? He says, I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of black on black crime. It was a black teenager that stole my car last month. If we didn't have this black on black crime, that Trump wouldn't have to have the pretext. So I hear what you're saying about black on black crime. I just kind of want to give some pretext, some context, I guess. Black on black crime is not really a thing. And I want to be careful when I say this, as much as white on white crime is not, Asian on Asian, and so on and so forth. We know crime is about proximity. However, what we do to each other is a giant issue. Does it make sense? So I totally get what you're saying. Because they talk about black on black crime, but they never talk about all the other crimes. We know it's about proximity. You do things to who you're closest to, but it is an issue. So totally. I got you. Let's see. Mad Dog, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Undisputed Truth. Hope you're doing well. It says Trump fights like hell for Black America. Trump saved Black America from the immigrant invasion. Trump saved DC from the criminal thugs. Thank God for Trump. Okay. I hear you. Man, Common Man, where have you been? You have been missing in action. Almost sent the APB out there for you. Anyway, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. Says, just stopping by to say hi, pretty lady. Well, thank you. Says, keep up the good work. I shall. And don't be gone too long. But thank you. Margatina, what's going on with you? Says, just got here. Hey, Demetra in chat. Yes, indeed. Hi, Cube. How you doing? You've been missing too. Says, a few years ago, Korean Americans in Washington, D.C. were killed. He says a lot by Black people and became a big issue in a few months. 90%, he says, of the Koreans living in D.C. moved to Texas, and your comment cut off. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, there's a lot of Asians in Texas because that's where I am. Brother Steven, how you doing? Tell your wife I said hello. He says, I was told to look at current events at least once a day. Yeah, and back when I was in school, we did current events, right? And when we were in school, this was like, I don't know, elementary and so on and so forth. They're like, why do I need to know that, right? Because you need to stay abreast of what was going on in the world, and we still need to be. But a lot of people don't. This will hit them by surprise, unfortunately, when they doing something they ain't got no business doing. Don't believe me, media. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Don't believe media, rather. How you doing? And let's see. Just skipping down. I see I got 5 minutes left. So young. How you doing? Says Demetri. I need you to help me with my hair growth. Girl, your hair is so beautiful. Says hi from DC. I don't do much to it. I wash it once a week. I don't do too much to it. I don't pull it too much. I just kind of leave it alone, right? Don't put a whole lot of products on there. There's no chemicals on my hair at all. I try to drink a lot of water and try to eat decent, right? So just the basic stuff. But thank you. I appreciate that. Who else haven't I seen? Just want to make sure I get everybody. Lillian says, daddies have rights too. Yes, they do. Sister Shirley, what's going on with you? Castaway, what is up? Hope you're doing well. Lily, how are you doing this fine evening? Gloria says, shalom. Shalom to you as well. Sprinkles of happiness. How you doing? Says, unfortunately, this is what happens when parents and the community can no longer control the children. The government will control them. And again, we've been warned, right? Sada, how you doing? Says, get your kids. You better believe it. Like I said, I don't have small children. My child is 32. But I, am around, well, when I go back home, I have a lot of nieces and nephews and things like that. And I'm pretty influential in my family, as I am the matriarch of my family, believe it or not. My mom has gone on. She left at 67 in 2016, making me the oldest woman in my immediate family, right? So a lot of my nieces and nephews who have children, they come to me for guidance and stuff all the time, right? So we have to be there in that respect, right? We have to guide them. We don't say, well, they're 18 now. It ain't my problem, child. No, you are always a parent. You're always an auntie. I don't have any grandchildren yet, but when that time comes, I'll always be a grandma, right? So yeah, I did get down to the bottom. Let's see who else showed up. Freedom is the truth. How you doing? Says DC is just the beginning. This is about control. Yeah, and honestly, white supremacy is always looking for a way to subjugate Black people, right? Again, it's multi-levels. It's the prison system that needs bodies and needs beds, right? It's easier to get somebody in there for life. That way you don't have to worry about recidivism, right? Them keep coming back and all that. You know what? We'll get them when they're 14. Put them in there for a very long time. They talking about life, right? They never get out. Investors are happy. Problem solved. They don't care about Black people at all. As y'all know, they've been trying to get rid of us, especially in America, forever. So they lock them up young. They ain't got to worry about procreation. They ain't got to worry about them educating themselves, about them waking up to what's going on. They'll wake up in prison, but what can they really do, right? And a whole host of other things. And we know that slavery was abolished, except for what? The 13th Amendment, prison. So, we have to educate ourselves. There's no more excuses. We can't, hey, Bakari, how you doing? And May, what's going on with you? As Black men and women, we can't continue saying it's the Black man's fault. It's the Black woman's fault, because it's our fault. It's all of our fault. We have to stop the foolishness. We have to have these conversations with one another. Hey, Black man. Hey, Black woman. Hey, king. Hey, queen. Now, I know a lot of people don't like why you calling Black women queens and why you calling Black men kings and all, because it's a reminder. That's what it is. That if you ain't acting like that, that's the way you're supposed to be acting. It's, hey, queen. that's supposed to jolt something in you. You right. You right. I'm supposed to be acting royal, right? So yeah. So let me see who else said something before I get out of here. Clickbaited, how you doing? Says stop committing crimes, you won't get locked up. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Now, of course, we know that there's a lot of people in prison that didn't do a crime, but we talking about the people who are doing crimes. Stay out of the way. Be productive, right? Be productive and stay out of the way. You know they out there looking for us. And Tracy says slavery 4.0. Yep. And Bakari says black folks get ready to fight for self. We was already told to do that, right? And Common Man says water is best for hair growth. The Black Panther taught me that back in the late 1960s. It worked. I'm 63 and can still grow my hair down my back. Zero chemicals. Yes, water. Our body needs moisture, right? Our scalp and hair needs moisture to grow. And definitely leave it alone, right? Don't pull it, tug it. Just put water on it, wash it, keep your scalp clean, and it'll grow. Make sure you eat right. And Mary, I hope I said the right, says the community groups and churches should have explained what their actions will produce. Yep. And a lot of us that went to church, we did a lot of things in the church. And I know that churches still do, but they need to, kind of step up and stop doing the bidding of white supremacy, because a lot of churches do. The mob, how you doing, says we definitely need to come together. It takes a village to raise a child. Nubian, Nebulin, and the names are jacked up. I promise you they are. See? It's all put together. It says, but how you doing? It says Trump is doing the right thing. These YNs, need to go in the house. I'm not worried because I'm not out there cutting up. There you go. Out of sight, out of mind, right? That's what the old people used to tell us. Daryl, how you doing? We about to get out of here. I done overstayed my welcome. But anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here with me. I will be back here tomorrow with Donovan. If not, I will definitely be here, have a conversation with you. There's so many other things that I wanted to talk about, but I had to kind of put it on the back burner so we could talk about this, as it is highly important, and we'll continue to talk about it. But I just want to say at the end of the day, we got. We need to get our children intact because they are the future. But without the children, we don't have a future, right? Our lineage does not go on if these people get their way and want to lock them up and all that. Then what, right? So we got to stop the excuses, stop blaming. We're all at fault. It's all of our faults, okay? Now, to what degree, I don't know, you decide, but it's all of our faults. We need to really sit down, have a good talk with each other and say, okay, this is what it is and this is where it needs to be. Anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.